7:32 right now, and since May, the city has shut down more than 600 shops selling illegal cannabis as part of Operation Padlock to protect.
Yeah, two of those shops were bodegas in the Bronx, where a community tip led to yesterday's $1 million bust and a total of 9 arrests. This morning, Mayor Eric Adams and New York City Sheriff Anthony Miranda joining us live from Gracie Mansion to talk more about this and other topics. Good morning to both of you. So let's get right into it, because we've seen these kinds of crackdowns before, right, where the stores were back up and running shortly after they were shut down. So how long will the two bodegas in Throgs Neck actually remain closed? Is it permanent?
The goal is to have these shops operate according to the law, and sometimes it takes repeated visits. But what happened yesterday with the sheriff's team is that you saw millions of dollars of illegal cannabis and mushrooms and other products that were probably a distributor location that targeted other areas. But our goal is to repeatedly enforce. Over 600 shops have been closed down. Many of them have remained closed, and we're going to stay committed to closing down these shops.
And Sheriff, 9 people were arrested. What charges are they facing, first of all, and do you anticipate more arrests down the line?
7 people were arrested at this one location. 2 were arrested at the secondary location. The charges are pending. They were criminal possession of controlled substance because of the hallucinogenics that they were selling. And the investigation is still ongoing. In fact, the same day, we actually hit another shop a few doors down that turned out to be a storage facility for the same location.
Yeah, I guess the big question here is there any way to trace where the stashes of these illegal products are coming from? This is $1 million bust. These are a lot of product here. So the pipeline of product is the next focus, right? So how are you zeroing in on that?
No, well said. And you must have been a fly on the wall the other day when I was speaking with the Commissioner-in-Chief, because that is our target. We have to go to the faucet. What is actually driving this, and we have to turn that off. I've always stated I believe this is a well-organized, almost chain store type distributor, with which they are really supplying not only here in the city, but probably throughout the entire state. And that is our focus at this time. Let's go to the source.
Yeah, and what's also important to note is how important it is for the community to be involved, to speak out.
Yes, for us, the community plays a critical role in supplying information. They're usually the first ones that encounter and know the illegal stores even before, as they are operating or opening, and they're preparing to open. And so we appreciate all the information that continues to come to 311 or directly to the Sheriff's Office or to the New York City Police Department or to any of the elected officials that often receive the same details.
Yeah, good stuff right there. Sheriff, thank you. Mr. Mayor, while we have you, I want to get you on a few other off topics before we let you go. I know you have a string of interviews, and I want to start with national politics, which of course play into local, Mr. Mayor, as you know. And there's this reporting that Senator Schumer met with President Biden, asked him to step aside in fear of losing the House and the Senate. Now, I know you said right here on Pix 11 last week that you're riding with Biden. Wondering if that all has changed since then, especially with the leader of the Senate coming forward, as well as others.
Well, I think this decision is, one, is the president's, and two, I think the party must come together and really direct the course for the next couple of months as we get closer and closer to Election Day. I'm riding with Biden. I would not be making those calls. I would be not stating anything that's going to get in the way of my focus of making sure that he's reelected as the President of the United States.
Are you surprised that Senator Schumer reportedly met with him to discuss otherwise?
I'm not aware of that. I have not communicated with the senator, and I'm sure the senator is focused on regaining the Senate, and he's going to do whatever is possible. He's a hard worker. He's one of the he's the hardest working senator that I know in this country, and I have a lot of respect for him, and I'm pretty sure he's going to do what's needed to regain the Senate. And we're going to have finally in Congress, the majority leader is going to be Congressman Jeffries.
Mr. Mayor, we also want to ask you about this. On Wednesday morning, Councilwoman Suzanne Zhuang was arrested for allegedly biting a police chief in the arm during a protest, and it was all about a homeless shelter in that community. A spokesperson says she was just trying to protect a 70-year-old woman First, what's your response to this? And also, what do you think about some community members saying it's the city's fault because they're not giving community members enough of a voice on what comes to their own neighborhoods?
No, I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. First of all, I hope the chief is okay. It was a pretty nasty bite in his forearm. And I was a little surprised that this happened with the councilwoman. She's extremely supportive of police. And, you know, these are emotional issues. And no one wants a shelter open in the area. That council district, that area has no shelters at all. You see the reports. There's some communities where they have 10, 12, 13 shelters in their community. Every councilmatic district must share this crisis of migrants and asylum seekers and the homelessness crisis that we're facing. No one can be exempt. It's unfair if other areas are exempt, and I cannot allow that to happen, that we have shelters in some communities and we don't have it in others. I'm going to reach out to the councilwoman. She has been, she's a newly elected, and she has been a real partner for the law enforcement community and for City Hall. It's unfortunate this happened, and we're going to come to a resolution.
But those charges were appropriate that she faced?
Yeah, there was assault on a police officer, and we have been consistent about the increase in assault on police officers. And so our officers are there to do a job. Like today, I'm getting ready to go to a funeral of an officer we lost while training. I've been to enough funerals, and I've been to enough issues involving police officers doing their job, and I think the charges were appropriate charges.
Mr. Mayor, FDNY Commissioner Laura Kavanaugh is resigning, and there is some reporting out there that City Hall was already looking for replacements before her resignation. So the question for you this morning is, do you have a short list of people? And if not, how long will it take to find a replacement?
No, we were not looking, and this was completely Commissioner Kavanaugh's decision. She came to me some time ago and said, Eric, I'm ready to do other things. I've been here for over 2 years, close to 3 years, and I want to do other things. And I respect that, and I think that it is appropriate that when an individual has, you know, really broken ground, what she has done for recruitment of women in that department, and what she's doing around lithium-ion batteries, she has done so much to move that department forward. And I thank her for her service. And as I told her, and I told everyone, she can remain commissioner as long as she wants, as long as I'm the mayor. And we're going to find a replacement like we've done whenever someone transitioned out of city government.
Mr. Mayor, we're also getting very close to the start of school, believe it or not. Can't believe how fast summer is flying by. Now, there was more funding put towards schools. You've repeatedly said to us that every child who wants a seat will get a seat for education. The council agrees. So has every child received a seat in or near their district? And what's the timeline?
Well, we remain clear on that. We even added new resources to do so. As you know, the head of our early childhood program is transitioning to another job, but we have a replacement. And as I committed to, I'm going to stay with every child that desires a seat would have access to a seat. And I believe we have a few hundred that we were not able to place, but we have a 94% of our children that wanted seats. They're in seats, and we have really taken this to the next level. The increase in child care seats as this program first opened.
At a time, but I know we got to go. Timeline though for those remaining 6%. I know 94%, but 6% don't have it, and September's right around the corner. So what's the timeline?
Listen, the team over there, the DOE over there is going to do the job, and I'm pretty sure they're going to get it done.
All right, Mr. Mayor, appreciate you. I know you got another interview to get to, so we're going to leave it there. Appreciate your time, as always, to you and Sheriff Miranda for joining us this morning to talk about the important issues.